So this is kind of exactly what I meant by it's really difficult to imagine justice without punishment. She doesn't use an example quite as heinous as Jeffrey Dahmer, but she leaves the door open for that community-based accountability can look different, and it kind of has to on a case-by-case, community-by-community basis. She notes that in both the Brock Turner and the R. Kelly cases, that the victims were further victimized by the media circus and drawn-out legal processes, and that the victims did not feel like they got the justice that they sought anyway. There was also little to no accountability for the people who facilitated these things, like tour managers, record executives, fellow students, or coaches. And this is kind of an inherent flaw and contradiction in the way that we've devised our current justice system. Because when we apply that lens to the Jeffrey Dahmer case, we also see institutional and communal failure to protect the boys that he preyed on. Like, one of the most heartbreaking parts of the Dahmer story is the story of the 14-year-old boy who was found unconscious in the street and then allowed by the police and some women who found him to return with Dahmer under the story that they were lovers. This boy was 14. And Dahmer was in his 30s. He also was able to lure in these victims by offering like $50 to come and take nude photographs. So while his statistic preference for black boys may not have come from a place of racial hatred like we might think, we need to interrogate the intersection of marginalization and poverty that gave him ready access to these young men, many of whom were black, many of whom were immigrants, none of whom were made safer by the incarceration of John Wayne Gacy. And of course, we don't have the answers for really how to deal with that. These cases are so extreme, they actually sort of still rock our sense of what justice is. And in the book, she talks about how we need to be ready to experiment and try different things, and we need to be open to the idea that certain forms of transformative justice might not work, or that we might fail sometimes, but we do have to do something different because the current system is not helping anybody, and it's really just further victimizing everybody. Because even outside of the official carceral system, the societal carceral system has also been at work victimizing those same people. The media spectacle of the succession from Ed Gein to John Wayne Gacy to Jeffrey Dahmer has been used to justify all kinds of horrible homophobic and transphobic media and behavior. You can draw a fairly straight line from Ed Gein to trans bathroom bills. You can draw a straight line from Jeffrey Dahmer to the gay panic defense. And so it continues to beg the question, was justice served? I admit I may not know what justice does look like here, but it doesn't look like this.